if Sonic 1 is where a series came to life, and Sonic 2 was where it was refined, then, in my honest opinion, this game is why it still exists today. A masterpiece. Welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, a game which young Shadow played bucket tons of with his old Mega Drive. Still tough though. So, this is by far and away the game that I remember the most of in the original trilogy, which might be a bit of a low bar, truthfully, but yeah, I played this tons, and I remember tons of secrets, super cool things you can do, and truth be told, I'm going to try and put that to good use here as well. I have put some work in for this series. I mean, I won't get all of them, but I'll show what I mean when we get started here. But yeah, Sonic 3 for me is where like the series just absolutely kind of revolutionized itself and became much more what we know today. Fantastic level design, great music, the controls are fun, there's added mechanics, the special stages are quite pleasant. There's just tons to enjoy here, and hopefully, if you've never seen any of this before, you're in for a good trip. Now, some of you more evil-eyed viewers may have noticed that I'm not actually playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I did originally say that I was going to do. There's a few reasons for this. First of all, the Sonic 3 base is the one that I played a ton as a kid, and there is actually a lot of differences between playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, even if you're just playing as Sonic. I'm not even going to get into the whole playing as Knuckles section, which we will delve into. So we're going to break this game into 3 parts. I'm going to play through original Sonic 3, as Sonic with Tails. And then once we go through all the original game, we're going to go back through those stages of playing as Knuckles, because it's incredibly different. It's amazing how different it is. And then we'll pick back up in Sonic 3 and Knuckles from where we finish off basically in the original game, and then play through the rest of it. Because Sonic 3 and Knuckles is basically 2 games in one, and they're both about the same length of each other. So that is going to be the plan. You can choose to play as Sonic, Sonic with Tails, or for the first time in the series, you just play straight with Tails. And truth be told, young me actually did a lot of that. I was a big Miles fan. And Miles lets you get to some really cool places. Again, I'll be showing off as much stuff as I can. We're going to be playing through as Sonic with Tails. And we're going to experience the game. Now, it should be noted, we're going to be experiencing a lot, by the way. So this takes place pretty much exactly, I think, minutes after the end of Sonic 2. Tails with his jet power plane, which still has a propeller for some reason. Sonic's like, yeah, I'm the best in the world. And Knuckles like, I don't think so. I'll be borrowing those emeralds, thank you very much. We'll be learning more about Knuckles as we go. So, welcome to Angel Island. Not quite tutorial land, but pretty nice, pretty breezy. Just a good place to be, basically. Lots of fun to be had. Just a kind of easy win to the Sonic you know and love. So, there are secrets all over the place in Sonic 3 if you're willing to go around and have a bit of perusal. I remember a lot of them. I'll be showing them off where you can. So there's some rings up here, speed pepper as well. Super cool. Now, normally what I would do is I would just start racing on it, and you can definitely do that in Sonic 3. However, quick mechanics talk about something. Now, you might notice in the top right of the screens you can see here, there's introduction of a brand new mechanic in this game, propeller flight. It was kind of hinted at in the second game that Tails is able to like, fly. But it turns out in the third game, they expanded on that to the point where not only can Tails fly, but Tails can actually carry Sonic across the map for short stints of time. Really strong. Now, unfortunately, in the original version of this game, I'll just quickly pause for a second. So, in the original port for Sonic 3, while Tails looks incredibly bored because he's probably heard this conversation like 1,000 times at this point, propeller flight was unfortunately a little bit tricky. I believe in later iterations, if you're playing as just Sonic, you can kind of like control Tails to like basically jump above you to allow propeller flight, but that wasn't a thing in Sonic 3. What you ended up having to do was actually have a second player, or at least a second controller, and what you can actually do is control Tails manually. Now, I don't have a couple of controllers on me, but what I do have is my keyboard. So what I've actually gone ahead and done is I've programmed a second controller into my keyboard, which means that we can and will on occasion be playing as Tails. And this is what it looks like. Tails can't move the camera and thing like that. And if you stop playing Tails a little bit, it does come on the back under AI control. But as you can see here, you can indeed play as Tails even in Sonic. Super cool. So to make propeller flight happen, what you've got to do basically is you jump once and then you jump again, and that begins the flight. And if you keep pressing like the jump buttons, you'll gradually fly and fly. So if we want to go ahead and get Sonic grabbed, what we do is basically press jump twice really quickly. And then if we keep pressing the jump, we can fly. We can't do this very long, unfortunately. Tails will get tired. But there are various sections in these games where, like, you cannot get access to certain parts of these levels unless you either do this or you're playing as Sonic or playing as Tails or Sonic, Tails and Knuckles even specifically. Very, very cool mechanic. And yeah, even if you're playing on your own, you can kind of do this. Very, very sweet. I'll be showing off what I can. I won't be showing off everything, because again, some parts of this I will actually be showing off in with the Knuckles run. But to get you an idea, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. It's pretty neat. Okay, then. That gets us to shields. Now, there are multiple different types of shields in the game. We've gone past just the straight energy shield, which we're used to. And there are now kind of elemental types of shields. Very, very cool. One of which is the fire shield. Everything has a double jump ability. This one lets you kind of soar across here in a flaming bolt, which actually we use to damage enemies. Very, very useful. Also, all shields can allow you to block some small projectiles, like the ones that machine was launching. Very, very cool. However, some of these shields are affected by the maps around you. There are certain places with water sources, and you can have your shields dispelled by these. It's a bit of a problem. You gotta be a little bit careful about that. It can be really bad for you. Alright, come here. Take him out. I show what I mean here. So if I quickly advance forward for a moment. Again, we got a lot of freedom in this opening stage to just kind of explore around, which is really cool. Run across here. Super duper stuff. All really nice. So, if we let this expire out here, I show what I mean. So we got a fire shield. If we send this into the water, for example, this shield completely dispels immediately. Be careful about that. It's a bit of a problem. Now, next thing to talk about, as I try and get across without killing myself, is special stages. That was a hell of a jump. Nice. Water shield next here. This one lets you bounce like this. Also gives you infinite air supply. Very sweet. So next I will talk about special stages, which have also been changed and for the better when it comes to this game. Previously, what we'd have to do is manage to get 50 rings and find a... oh, here's the shield thing, by the way. You can see here. Really, really cool. Very useful, that. You'd have to get 50 rings and find a star post. Now, you can definitely still do that. However, what it instead does now is give you access to an optional bonus stage, which is not related to Chaos Emeralds. I believe there is one up here. I believe there's one up here. Hold on. Come on. There we go. See stuff like that? Really, really cool. Here we are. So if we head on inside, we'll get access to this. I'll talk more about the bonus stages in a future video, because there is plenty to talk about, but for the time being, yes. You got these ones here. So this one is the one that is common in Sonic 3. It's basically a big giant gumball machine. Lots of rewards to be grabbed here. Oh god, Tails, what have you done? Tails, what have you done? Tails, you screwed me! Use up all my things. But yeah, there's rings to get. There's all sorts of beautiful bonuses. That will replenish our overall springs, which we're going to need here because we're in real trouble, actually. You can get a whole lot of shields, lives, rings, all sorts of good stuff here. Oh, man, this is a problem. Forget whatever it is. Got some rings, okay. I'll talk more about strategy of those later. It's not important right now. Now, I do want to go back because there are other things here. You can see there's this little rope swing bridge thing here. Well, again, this is another section that if you're playing with Tails' abilities, you can get access to. Super cool. We try and get back here. We might not manage it, though. Could be a little tricky. That's fine. Let me, so again, if we come up here, and just show it again, you know. Jump, grab. This is all being done with the Player 2 controller. Very, very good. Now, Tails can be, like, knocked off of holding Sonic, for example, there. That can be a bit awkward, so be a little careful about that. Eventually, he'll respawn. And then we can just jump up again. Ah, damn, missed it. You gotta be careful. Sometimes it's easy to, you can miss Sonic, which can be a bit awkward. There's a bit of a trick to it. Of, like, how you want to do it. You kind of, like, jump Tails, I think, slightly behind Sonic, I believe is the trick. And that seems to make him pick it up a lot. There you go, yeah. Get Tails slightly behind Sonic for the grab. So we can get up here, for example. And yeah, completely missed. There's like a rope swing bridge over here, which I didn't take. We are running through a lot of time, by the way, but that's okay. So we can come across here, for example. But yeah, it's just, you can just feel like, it's just, this is what this game should all be about, you know? It's good stuff. I lost my, my bubble bridge. Interesting. So you might be wondering, well, hold on a sec, Shadow. If that's the case, and that's what the special stages now do, well, how do you get hold of Chaos Emeralds? Well, what the developers wisely did, if I can never get this down, rope swing bridge, game, thank you. What they wisely did is that they decided to put the Chaos Emeralds behind secret areas that you just have to find. There is no ring requirement for any of these. You just have to know where they are and find them and access them, which is what you might have suspected these conspicuous rocks are. And you can go through these, and what you'll find is this, a big giant ring. And these are basically portals to these special stages. I'll show the images for the special stages in the top left, so you can get a feel for these, but these are also pretty cool. So that takes you to the mini planets things here. What we're going to do is get hold of blue spheres. So, what we got to do is basically there's like 100 of these spheres, and what we need to do is run Sonic and Tails over all of them. If we do, we get hold of the Chaos Emerald. Now, there's a lot of little tricks to this, as you can see here. A lot of these form in like sort of square or other types of formations, and what you can basically do is if you run around the edge of them, when there's like kind of, it's more than a 2x2, you can turn them all into rings, which is really good because it means it's quicker for you to collect. And also, if you ever run into any of these red spheres, you are immediately ejected out of the special stage, and you definitely do not want that. Pretty bad. Also got these bumpers as well. You can be careful of these. These will bump you backwards, and they can be a little tricky. Basically, they're just generally trying to get you screwed. So in stages like this, bit of accuracy, bit of timing needed on your turns, and make it look a lot easier than it actually is. You'll also notice that as we're going along here, the game is gradually getting faster and faster, and this has definitely happened. It gets to a point where like it's like lightning fast, and you've got to be absolutely on the ball, making sure that you don't screw up, because if you do, you're not going to get much chance to react. So you can see here we're getting like really quick here now, and this isn't even the fastest speed, I don't believe. You can get faster than this. Now, if you can get hold of all the rings in one of these stages, you can get hold of a perfect bonus, which is good for extra lives, stuff like that. And here we go. Left, right, right, left, left, right. Yeah, it's a little tricky that at that speed. That takes some practice. Kind of like the game will kind of remember some commands, but there's a bit of a window for it. Get them all, and you get your Chaos Emerald. 7 in this game, much like the previous one. Should mean that if you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, these stages are completely different. We'll talk about that in the future. I will apologize now if there's a bit of a lot of information coming your way, because there is lots about this game, and it comes at you very, very fast. So, yeah. It means that you can actually get hold of the Chaos Emeralds in this game very early. Like, as early as, like, the 3rd or even 4th stage of this game, you can get hold of that very, very strong. Right, we need to get going. We've only got 10 minutes to beat the stage, and I have been spending a lot of time exploring around, so we have to crack on here. Now, I do want to get on down here. There are some secrets to be had. So we can push this to the side. Head on down. Lots of rings. One thing you'll also notice very quickly in this game is that you can get lots of extra lives in this game very early. Very much so. Oops. So this will spring you up here. I don't want to go all the way, however. Right. We want to go back on ourselves because there's something up there I want. It's a double loop. We can get up there. This takes us back to where the star post was. You remember this? We want to get ourselves up there quickly. Jump across. Because there is a box of rings. And also, if you run and jump across all the way over here, there is extra life. Very nice. Okay, then. I am going to need to get a bit of head start here for this next section. So let's quickly swing back. And then, off we go. I've spent a long time explaining. I'm so sorry. So that brings us to here. And we've got... What's this? Mini-boss? Well, kind of. Robotnik's evil army bombs the island. What the absolute hell? Yeah. Pretty wild, right? Pretty wild. So yeah, this is one thing I absolutely adored about Sonic 3, is that it kind of effectively incorporates kind of like storytelling into the stage, little mini cutscenes and stuff. I think it's really awesome. Here's a lightning shield, by the way. Special ability is to get like a second double jump. Also, really cool with the lightning shield, it can actually attract nearby rings. My favorite shield of the game by a distance, but this can also be dispelled by water, so be careful. I'm probably going to run out of time. I've spent so much time explaining stuff to you guys, but it's totally fun. But you can see, lightning shield is absolutely awesome. But yeah, now that you've got like a theme change, the music's different, we got a second extra life, super cool. But yeah, lightning shield is very, very, very strong, and I would highly recommend getting hold of it as soon as possible. We are probably not going to beat the stage in time, so I am going to take a timeout death here, but it's fine. So what we're going to do is, while we're doing that, is we are going to, well, get more special stages done and more special things done as well. So if we head on down here, there's these little platforms. These appear and disappear. Little tricky these. But again, having shields makes such a big difference. Really handy. Ah, damn, I actually got my shield dispelled. That was a little silly. Now, the reason I've come down here is because what I want to do is swing down this way, because down this left side, you got this spring, and up here is bonus stage number 2. Yeah, they come at you thick and fast in this game. Here's an app for this second one, showing off to you here, there as well. Again, I remember these incredibly well, so I don't really need to look at them. I'm going to try and perfect as many of these as humanly possible, but some of them are actually pretty tough. Now, if you want to get perfect for this with these, what you need to always make sure you do is that you don't finish a stage by doing one of these churning things with the coins. You have to get all coins in order to get hold of these. So there are some sections of spheres where they are like not like coinable. So you gotta make sure to try and do one of those last. And how you want to do that will vary a bit as you go. So let's head on down this side here. But again, like you want to make sure to like get rid of these blue spheres into coins, just as it means that there are some stages where you can get yourself completely and utterly trapped in this game, and that's a real problem. Now, you can jump in these worlds. You can press jump with the jump button. You can clear up to about like a couple of spheres, which is nice, but only so useful. So let's head... There's nothing on the right here, is there? There is not, no. Some of these can get a little bit mazy. Just gotta make sure you're just visiting different spots here, but you can see here more the bumper stuff. Bumpers will send you walking backwards until you do something about it. So this is a stage here. So this part here, I can't turn these into coins. I'm going to leave that until the very end. And that's the last thing we're going to go ahead and do. So let's grab all those. But yeah, so when you are like turning around here, say there is a degree of like memory for your controls and turning, but when you're going super fast, it is very difficult to time those occasionally. So this one we can sphere. There we are, and that leaves the 16, which I believe is what is in the section that we left. 100 rings is another extra life. This game will throw lives at you, by the way. There's our perfect. And then we can just finish ourselves up here. These stages, as mentioned, do get more complicated in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is kind of why I wanted to do the original version first. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But I just really enjoy these stages. They're just so much simpler compared to what we dealt with prior. And they're very beginner-friendly. You kind of get it. Some of them are tricky later on. And can be tricky if you don't know them too well. But other than that, though, they're just, I think, really, really enjoyable. Like I said, this game is why Sonic exists today. I would go that far as saying that. One of the greatest games of this generation. Okay then, so what I've done is I've just taken a timeout because we kind of did run out of time for bits and pieces. I obviously want to show off more of this stage, so just easy this way. Can't really get any of those out of shields, that's fine. This will take us back down here. One thing to note about these special stages is you only get one crack at them. If you fail to them, you lose access to that. And even if you, like, soft reset the game, you also don't get access back to those. So you've got to be very, very careful. Now, there is a spring down here. We've got to be a bit careful here. Some of these areas have spikes in some really nasty spots. Be careful of that. Thank you, Tails. I do find Tails is definitely more useful in this version of the game than in prior iterations, which is, you know, I appreciate that. You definitely will see Tails doing a lot more cool stuff. So, there are more secrets to be had, unsurprisingly. So, there's a whole water section down here, which is very easy to miss. Let's go visiting down here. Those things, by the way, those little swimming things, very, very dangerous. Gotta hit them in the head, otherwise you are gonna have a bad, bad day. Okay, let's get up here. That'll take us up to here, which is pretty much near to the end of the stage. Not quite there, though. You might remember where we are now. Yeah, definitely. One or two more things I'll quickly show off, and then we will end the stage, and we will end this video, because I know I've spent a long time here. Is I do want to make my way back. Oh, my face. It's not a big deal. I don't think there's any more star posts for us, so... Or at least not here as such. So it's not too big a deal. You'll notice as well, like, Tails actually has the ability to swim, which is effectively Tails' flying ability, but in the water. Pretty cool, right? So I want to get ourselves up high here. So let me quickly retake Tails here. Yeah, get behind. Double jump. That initial boost of momentum, by the way, very useful. Go. And off the left side. Okay, good. Now, I want to get even higher here. There are more secrets to be had if we can get there. So let's try and do that. So quickly head on back here again. Ah, damn, missed it. There's lots of secrets usually at the tops of these waterfalls. I'm only going to show off one. But to give you an idea that you can, like, usually fly up these. And you'll find usually there's goods hiding. There is just so many things to explore on this map. It's incredible the amount of stuff there is to find. Really, really impressive. All these things. Oh god, I missed. I think there's like invincibility up there, for example. Pretty cool. Another lightning shield for us here. Want to get hold of this after the last one. After going in the water, because again, you lose lightning shields in water, which is a problem. Whole load of rocks here. This is nothing for Sonic to deal with, but we'll talk about this later on. Jump up here. Lightning shield again makes this really easy. Grab the fire shield over here. And then we are going to move on. Uh-oh. And it is mini-boss time. By the way, this is a really cool theme. This is not the same theme here in Sonic and Knuckles. I mean, this theme ultimately is a lot better. I really enjoy it. Mini bosses take 6 hits to go down, which is pretty easy. Now, one thing that is really cool about the fire shields, as I mentioned before, fire shields make you legitimately unable to be damaged by fire attacks. See that fire there? And if I try and do it with Tails, gets hit. This is really important for later on in the game. Remember it. Okay, we are done and dusted. So, let's get out of here. However, extra bonus stuff for you to do. You get the ability to, like, jump around and hit this post around. Very, very cool. Now, there's more reason for this than meets the eye. If you are very perceptive, you might notice looking at the ground about where we're standing now, for example, there is some, like, white in the ground because there is special items you can find doing this. There's one in the middle as well. And if you can land the thing on it, you can get hold of whatever's inside. There could be extra lives, it could be rings, all sorts of stuff. Super cool. And the points are nice. It's nice to mess about a little as well. I'm going to try and get the one in the middle, for example. Here we go. Nice. But yeah, super cool. I love this game. Alright then, that's the first act. I'll see you guys in Act 2. Yes, that was only the first act. I'm sorry.